This week on the Awareness Angle, we have a real estate firm quietly exposing 47,000 people, SoundCloud losing control of user data and knocking out its own VPN in the process, and PornHub dealing with extortion after deeply personal viewing history walks out of the door via a third-party analytics mess. We also look at UK government hack that's still being downplayed, malware hiding in movie subtitles, browser extensions slurping up millions of AI chats, Microsoft account takeovers, LG reverses a not very smart TV decision, and a WhatsApp hijack that is so simple, it's almost unbelievable. All of that and more on this week's The Awareness Angle. All views and opinions are our own, and with me as always is Luke Pettigrew. Hello, Luke.
Yeah, not quite as always.
I was going to say, last week I shoved an out of office over your face on the image, so
yeah,
on the episode. I don't know if you saw that. Luke's back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Matt Davis, and Luke's obviously here, back from his holidays. How was your holidays?
Yeah, it was nice to get away for a short break and stuff. Yeah, nice to be back as well.
Good. Lovely. I should have asked you that before we even started recording, but there we go. Right. Let's crack on with the show, and let's kick off straight into Breach Watch. Right. So, starting off this week's breaches, NYC and DC real estate developer notifies 47,000 people of a data breach. So this story comes from Comparitech. It's not a source we normally get news from, but Rock Rose Development, which is a real estate developer in NYC and DC, have confirmed a data breach dating from July this year that affects 47,392 individuals. Names, social security numbers, taxpayer IDs, driver's licenses, passports, financial account info, health and medical information, and online account credentials are all compromised. That's a big stack of data. That is. The Play ransomware gang have claimed responsibility, and they've still stolen documents related to clients, payroll, accounting, taxes. But none of this has been confirmed. A ransom payment or breach method has not been confirmed by Rock Rose. And of course, Rock Rose are offering 24 months of free identity protection via Experian. But you have to enroll before March the 31st. That's Play. Just looking here, Play is a group that have targeted organisations in healthcare, finance, manufacturing, real estate, education and more since June 22. And they do a double extortion model that we've spoken about before, making you pay a ransom for the decryption key to get your systems back, and then again not to sell or release the data. So yeah, that's quite an interesting one. I think this goes to show no one is too big or no one is too small. This is apparently Play have also already this year breached Rock Solid Stabilization and Reclamation, Gorham Sand and Gravel, Thomas Safran and Associates, and Allstate Materials Group. So these are like these aren't big national organizations. You know, these are small numbers. The numbers in these other breaches, Gorham Sand and Gravel, 666 people. Like, they don't need to be big to be a target. And they don't need to be big to make Play money.
No, it's quite concerning because, I mean, you could quite easily take out a company if they're quite small.
We've seen it happen before. We've seen it happen in the UK with Knights of Old, you know, haulage company, 100 years old, one ransomware attack wipes them out. They cease to exist. So,
yeah. And
it's companies like this that won't have the infrastructure, the money, the everything in place. They probably haven't even got a cybersecurity team. You know, some of these companies these size, they're probably out on the phone to their IT support company going, help. And the IT company's like, so yeah, cyber matters no matter how big you are. It really does.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. Move on to the next one. Slightly bigger company. This next one.
Yeah. So this one is SoundCloud confirms breach after members' data stolen, VPN access disrupted. So yeah, audio streaming platform SoundCloud had outages and VPN connection issues over the past few days. So it would have been probably like last week by the time this goes out. And yeah, it was basically caused by a security breach where threat actors stole a database, exposing users' email addresses and profile information. So yeah, some widespread reports on this. This story is from Bleeping Computer. and they had a statement shared by SoundCloud, who said that they've recently detected unauthorized activity and activated its response procedures. And they've acknowledged that some data has been accessed, but its exposure is limited.
I think that's quite interesting. They've activated response procedures. Smaller construction firms probably don't have response procedures. Their response procedure is like call the IT people if they have IT people. It's
So this is said to affect about 20% of users, which is around 28 million accounts. And they said that they're confident that it's now been blocked and there's no ongoing risk. But obviously, there's not much confirmation as to what exactly has been exposed. They did share a security notice with a bunch of information, and nobody's claimed this one, but it's been rumored by Bloomberg Computer. They said that they've received a tip stating that Shiny Hunters was responsible, but it's just, again, it's an anonymous tip, I guess. Who knows at this point?
Shiny Hunters are like anonymous were years ago, where if there's a breach, it's now like, it's probably them. Based off, like it used to be that everything got tagged as, it's probably anonymous, when more often than not, I don't think it was. So it's Shiny Hunters, that whole Shiny Lapsus Hunters group or whatever they are, it's scattered Lapsus Hunters. Yeah.
I guess when, they're well known at the minute, aren't they? So it's probably just, expect it's them. But I don't think, it doesn't say that there's any like passwords or anything else. It seems to be quite limited, but we'll see how that develops.
Yeah, it's interesting. The profile, looking at like the profile information, I've just logged into my SoundCloud account, and it's got the music I've uploaded or audio I've uploaded, playlists I've created, my location, which is self-declared, and then some history. So there is stuff that could be used in social engineering. It could be, fake emails from SoundCloud, that kind of thing. There's probably name, email address in there. But if there's no password or anything, it's literally, it's probably going to be social engineering that they're trying to leverage on that one. It also just doesn't look good for SoundCloud, does it really? Which
at least they responded pretty well.
Yeah. I saw a story related to this. There was some concern from SoundCloud users that they weren't able to access it over VPN, and they thought that SoundCloud would like locking down VPN access. Like, no, we're not going to let people access SoundCloud through a VPN anymore. SoundCloud have confirmed that was purely part of their defense mechanism. It was part of their blocking access over VPN was part of their playbooks, security playbooks. And that, I think, has returned now. You can now access SoundCloud over VPN. But locking that down was purely part of their security protocols. Yeah. If you do access SoundCloud via a VPN, calm down. That's okay. It's coming back. It's not a problem. Moving on to the next one, and this one's way more impactful. And this reminds me of one from the past a few years ago. PornHub, you'd have probably seen, have been extorted because hackers have stolen premium member activity data. Hackers have allegedly stolen premium member search and watch history data. And this data is linked to a third-party analytics provider called Mixpanel, which was compromised in November via an SMS phishing attack. Historical analytics data, including emails. So this is from 2021 or earlier. So if you're a recent subscriber, you're fine. But if you subscribed in 2021 or before, then your data may be at risk. So this includes emails, search terms, video titles, URLs, timestamps, and viewing activity. No passwords or payment details were exposed. So Shiny Hunters have claimed responsibility for this one. They're busy, aren't they? They're really busy, and is demanding payment to prevent publication. So this is, if you are this is kind of what I saw a video by someone, I've forgotten his handle, on TikTok about this. I think Pornhub were playing it down, like there was no financial data release, no passwords and that, but this data, they know what you were watching. They know what your preferences are, and your preferences are deeply personal, and they may not align with the life that you lead. So if your kink is something strange and you don't want people knowing about that, this data's very sensitive. Very, very sensitive.
Yeah.
Do you remember I've forgotten the name. I can't remember the name. Do you remember the Sugar Daddy website that got compromised years ago that led to there's been a documentary on Netflix and it led to suicides and stuff like that. It was, what was it called? Hang on, I'm just Googling it quickly. Oh, I can't even find it. Someone listening to this is shouting at it right
Probably.
now. I can't remember what it was called. Yeah, but this is significant. If this data gets public, this could destroy people's reputations, lives. This is the type of thing that can bring down governments, if you find out. This is you find out a prime minister's been watching a certain kind of thing, or a president. Yeah. So it's a significant one. I think this is one we're going to hear more of. I'm surprised it's not, this come from Bleeping Computer, but this didn't really make massive headlines, and that surprises me. I think if the data gets exposed, that could change. But
right, yeah, it's interesting as well. This comes from the third-party analytics service Mixpanel. Again, another third-party compromise that affects the company using them.
It's all third parties at the moment, isn't it? I'm sure I saw somewhere. So yeah, OpenAI have also been impacted by this. November 26th. OpenAI released a document saying what to know about a recent Mixpanel security incident. So this is ChatGPT API was impacted on this, but I don't think this was massive. User profile information associated with the use of platform.openai.com may have been included. So it's name, person's name, email address, approximate location based on user browser, the operating system and browser used, the referring website, and any user IDs. So that's all the data that's all that OpenAI shared with them. Why they needed to share that with an analytics company, I don't know. But more interestingly, the data PornHub have shared with this third party is way more significant. Way more significant.
This is what opens up, it's extortion and blackmailing and all kinds of things.
Massively. Yeah. Absolutely. That's going to be a significant one, I think. I was just looking at just trying to find out who had the good video on this, but I can't find them now. There's a video, that's a great link into the newsletter. There's a video that I've seen that explains the impact of it and how it happened. And I'll include that on the newsletter, which you can get by visiting riskycreative.com or going to LinkedIn and searching for the Awareness Angle newsletter. And in there, I'll put a link to the video that explains it all, because we're doing a worse job than was done on this short 2-minute TikTok that I saw that was way better. So that's fine.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Matt J, that's it. That's who it was. Vulnerable_Matt on TikTok. Matt J, cybersecurity guy, does a great little deep dive on this brief on TikTok. So I'll include that in the newsletter. Cool. Do you want to move on to the next one?
Yeah, so this is on the BBC News. Inquiry ongoing after UK government hacked, says Minister. So yeah, cybersecurity officials have confirmed that they're leading an investigation after a minister said that UK government had been hacked. Trade Minister Sir Chris Bryant said earlier that investigations were ongoing after an attack in October. It's understood that this is a Chinese affiliated group. They're suspected to be behind the hack, but the government has not named who they think is responsible. And they're working to investigate this incident. Yeah, it seems like UK NCSC, National Cybersecurity Centre, are working with them to fully understand the impact of this. After Home Office systems were accessed, they've said that Sir Chris Bryant said that the security gap's been closed pretty quickly, and they think it's fairly low risk that individuals will be compromised or affected, and they're not able to say if it's directly related to Chinese operatives or the Chinese state, but that is what's been said.
Definitely, if you look at the FT and the Telegraph, both the Financial Times and the Telegraph are quite outrightly saying it's Chinese cyber gang. That's the Telegraph headline. Chinese cyber gang hacks Foreign Office visa records. So it's
right, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's how they believe it's visa-related data, which is obviously quite concerning for the people that are affected. It seems to be I think it's been said that they're sort of downplaying it, not really releasing much information, but I guess there's still an ongoing investigation. Yeah, it doesn't really say much more on it.
So the Sun on the Sun's, I'm reading this on Reddit because I don't like the Sun, but it says an article on the Sun says the Sun understands Beijing-linked cyber gang Storm 1849 targeted government servers in October and accessed personal information, understood to include tens of thousands of visa details.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. It'd be interesting to see what more comes of that, I guess, once they've finished.
It's at a time when digital IDs, I saw something the other day about how Tony Blair was advising Albania on their digital infrastructure. Oh, that's a story I should bring to the topics later. But yeah, it's digital IDs. Everyone's talking about digital IDs, and it's something we spoke about weeks ago on a previous episode. But it's interesting, isn't it? We should trust the government with all this data, and then it can happen to anyone. It's not like it's easy. Oh yeah, trust the government with all my data. Like, would you trust anyone with your data? That's the problem. It's anyone that holds data can become a target. So it's yeah. Okay, next one is
I think we're into the news.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's the breach watch done. So let's get on to the news. Right, the first news story tonight isn't a massive news story, but if you're into tech, this is an interesting one. And it's also slightly strange. So, torrents there's legitimate uses for torrents, but torrents are typically used to illegally download films, music, stuff like that. If you're pirating movies, you're probably doing it via torrents. And torrents are it's like, you'll probably know what torrents are. Don't make me explain it. Anyway, a fake torrent for the latest Leonardo DiCaprio film, One Battle After Another. High malicious PowerShell malware loaders inside subtitles. This was I thought this was just unusual, right? So One Battle After Another is obviously the latest Leonardo DiCaprio movie, big action film, Sean Penn, Benicio del Toro, big film. And normally when these drop on torrent sites, people race to download them. They massive spike. Everyone wants to get it. But this one is interesting. Like, it's not unusual for there to be malicious files associated around torrents. But Bleeping Computer reports that this one's like unusually complex and stealthy, which makes it strange. Bitdefender said it's impossible to estimate how many people downloaded the files because of the nature of torrents. But we saw that this supposed movie had thousands of seeders and leechers. Seeders are people you download it from. Leechers are people that are downloading it off you. There's various files contained in this. There's a movie file, 2 image files, a subtitles file, and a shortcut file that appears as a movie launcher. And this is the weird thing, right? Because most people that download a torrent won't click on a cd.lnk file. And we spoke about .lnk files a few weeks ago, I think. So when you launch the cd.lnk file, it launches Windows commands that extract and run a malicious PowerShell script, which is hidden in the subtitles file. It's so strange. And the PowerShell script basically has 5 different stages that does different things. I'll put a link to the full story in there, but it's a strange one because most people that download this wouldn't click a cd.lnk thing. No. I wonder if this almost feels targeted to me in some way, or just like a proof of concept or something. The actual malware it runs is called Agent Tesla, and which has been around for years, and that's used to steal browser email and VPN credentials and capture screenshots.
Right.
Yeah. But
I've not heard of that kind of technique before. The subtitles containing that. It's interesting.
No, Bleeping Computer have got an image of it, and you can literally see the subtitles file. Subtitle files typically follow a same kind of format. You have like a line number, and then you have like the time in, time out, and then the line number, time in, time out, and then it goes at echo off, and then starts a PowerShell command, PowerShell minus Windows style hidden EP bypass. So it's like, hiding this command that does all kinds of interesting It then extracts numerous data blocks from the subtitles file to reconstruct 5 PowerShell scripts that it drops somewhere, and then does different things. So
That's crazy.
We'll put a link to that in the newsletter. But if you do dabble on the darker side of the internet, there's risks that come with that. Very much so. It used to be years ago, and it's almost a lost art form. And like when you work in this space, quite often you have dabbled on the other side of what's right. But do you ever remember keygens? Do you remember? Have you ever? Yeah. Keygens, there's like a lost art form with keygens. Keygens were always risky though, and always got flagged by antivirus tools, purely in the nature of what they had to do. Like I remember having to turn off AV to run a keygen. But keygens had the most awesome look and the most awesome sound effects and stuff like that. Like keygens were amazing. I hope that's triggered a memory for someone listening. If someone's, again, probably, I wouldn't recommend it. It's illegal. But there we go. I mean, purely for research purposes. All views and opinions are our own and not those of our employers.
Yeah. I think if you do this, sometimes you can untick what you're downloading, right? From the torrent.
You can.
You don't have to download all of it.
Yes. You can select the files which you download within that torrent. Yeah. That would be good advice. There are legal, perfectly genuine reasons to use torrents as well. In fact, a company we used to work for used to use torrents to deploy updates to various machines. And that was a genuine torrent usage, which cybersecurity team were like, you're using torrents. And they're like, yeah, that's how we update all of our handheld devices. And it's like, oh, that's a problem. So
yeah, move on.
Go on. Yeah, next one's yours.
This one is this one's been reported by Forbes. It says shut down and restart. New Microsoft attack beats passwords, 2FA, and passkeys. So yeah, it says there are some attacks that should never get through. Period. It should be obvious that something's not right, but still those attacks come and still they work. So this is a evolution on ClickFix, which they're calling ConsentFix, and it's affecting Microsoft's 365 accounts. So very similar to how ClickFix appears and tells you to copy something, paste it into command and all that. And this is a researcher or / company, Push Security, reported on this. And essentially, it's sort of all in browser, sort of browser-based attack on Microsoft accounts. Might be best to screen share, to be honest, so we can show some screenshots, but it's very similar to ClickFix. I'll bring it up on this Forbes story, and how we've seen before with fake captures and being used. So it's has
Cloudflare ever asked you for an email address?
Probably not, no. That's the first sort of red flag, isn't it?
Sorry.
Well, yeah, but it's not even Cloudflare as well, right? It's just a fake window made to look like Cloudflare.
Yeah.
I think we've seen before with the ClickFix stuff, it's common sort of tactic, and basically you're asked to you'd Google search or head to a website, and you get shown this screen to verify that you're a human, and it obviously wants your work or school accounts, not your personal accounts, as you can see by the red. And yes, seems to be a case of then prompts you to sign into Microsoft, and this uses the genuine Microsoft login, so it'll push you out to authenticate with OAuth to get an OAuth token.
Yeah.
And it brings back you log through Microsoft. If you're already logged in, you'd sort of pass through that, and it doesn't really show on this page, but you'd basically get a result, like a landing page that gives you a URL to copy, and obviously this ConsentFix is telling you to paste it in, and that contains your OAuth tokens, and would essentially give them access to your Microsoft account. There's a better breakdown on this push security, which we can put in the newsletter.
Yeah.
But it's a new thing to look out for, it seems. Very similar to ClickFix, but all in the browser.
As security professionals, we do we tell people what not to do. Getting that the right way around. Frequently, we tell people what not to do, like keep an eye out for this. Don't do that. Don't click. Don't do that. This is an example of where this is new, right? And things keep evolving and changing. This is an example of where we probably need to frequently tell people what is right, what good looks like, what normal looks like, and that any deviation from that isn't okay. Like this. A Cloudflare box asking users to enter an email address. I've never seen that. That would raise a red flag for me straight away. Pasting a URL, a very good Microsoft themed box asking me to verify I'm human by pasting a URL in. It seems harmless, right? But that URL contains some important information. So yeah,
there's a proper breakdown on this push security, which we can share, like the whole workflow and stuff. But yeah, basically it's very similar. Don't copy and paste things that you're being told to do. Should probably never happen, really.
If a website tells you to paste something that you haven't done before, question it. Yeah, someone said to me, one of the comments someone put on TikTok or something was like, "Oh, homebrew, we're frequently doing it with homebrew and stuff like that." Generic, typical, everyday users aren't copy and pasting commands from homebrew or stuff like that. It's
especially if they're just going to a normal platform that they typically would. And it says like this one's Google searches, so sponsored ads would probably be a place for this to happen.
Always Google. It's always sponsored ads.
Yeah.
I recorded a podcast episode and an interviews episode that will be out in a couple of weeks. I recorded it with Liam Stockrabat and Ishmael Pinino, two security awareness professionals based in Canada. One of the questions I posed to them right at the end was like, if there's one thing you could change, what would it be? And for me, my response to that question was make Meta and Google take responsibility for allowing the bad stuff to happen. Meta makes so much money from fake ads and stuff. Google allow all these dodgy links to living sponsored ads because it's all revenue generating. It's not okay. And then they stop you using a browser ad blocker so they can make more money, but that just makes you more insecure. It's terrible.
Yeah.
We didn't used to talk about Google results leading to darkness as much as we have since the ad blockers have gone. It seems like that's raised that.
Yeah. So it's probably the most popular way, right, for people to get onto something dodgy.
It seems like we're talking about it most weeks now. So yeah,
I think the thing just to reiterate on this as well is like, they don't need to steal your password or trick you to enter your MFA, or even passkeys can be you're authenticating to the genuine Microsoft platform. So just be careful with these sorts of things. Yeah,
completely.
I'm sure we'll see more of it, just like ClickFix. No, that's sort of everywhere at the minute.
Everywhere, yeah. And why is it everywhere? Because it works. Because it's easy to deploy, and it's successful at converting victims. So right, I'll move on to the next one. I said about Google being held responsible. Featured Chrome browser extension caught intercepting millions of users' AI chats. And this is the first I've heard about it. This is terrifying. So a Chrome extension that had a featured badge, 6 million users, has been observed silently gathering every single prompt entered by users into AI-powered chatbots like OpenAI's ChatGPT, Anthropic Claude, Microsoft Copilot, DeepSeek, Google Gemini, Meta AI. It doesn't matter if it's your corporation's approved AI or not. If this Chrome browser extension's installed, it's scooping everything up. So this one was called Urban VPN Proxy. Never heard of it, which has a 4.7 rating on Google Chrome Web Store. It's advertised as the best secured 3 VPN access to any website and unblocked content. Its developers, a Delaware-based company named Urban Cybersecurity. And even on Microsoft Edge add-ons marketplace, because that's obviously Chrome-based now, it has 1.3 million installs. So it claims to protect your online identity, stay protected and hide your IP. But an update was pushed to users on July the 9th with the AI data harvesting enabled by default using hard-coded settings. Wow, that's incredible. Like, this is awful.
That was done intentionally by the developer.
It's worth mentioning that so this is from Hacker News, it's worth mentioning that Urban VPN's updated privacy policy as of June the 25th, 2025, mentioned that it collects this data to enhance safe browsing and for marketing analytics purposes, and that any other secondary use of gathered AI prompts will be carried out on de-identified and anonymized data. That's got big, valuable data breach waiting to happen, surely. This is the third party that would get breached, exposing all of this data. By this being discovered, they've become a massive target to get breached, and depending on the size, who knows how good their security are. One of the third parties it shares web browsing data with is an affiliated ad intelligence and brand monitoring firm named BI Science. The company uses the raw, not anonymized data to create insights that are then commercially used and shared with business partners. BI Science, which also happens to own Urban Cybersecurity, was called out by an anonymous researcher earlier this January for collecting users' browser history or clickstream data. It's just a massive cesspit of like data scooping. Data is money, right? These extensions, what did it describe itself as? Let's have a look. Is it still live in the Chrome store? Hey, guess what? Oh, it's not available in the Chrome store anymore. Wow. Okay. That I did not expect. It was advertised as the best secured free VPN. Look, when anything is free, you are the product. Your data is how they're paying for the development and promotion of that. That's what's paying their wages and giving them a big shiny house. The update on this, I've just scrolled to the bottom of the article. All 4 extensions are no longer available to download from the Chrome web store. The Edge versions continue to remain live as of writing, although Microsoft are no longer featuring them. The featured badge has been removed. There's no way to know whether Google removed them or the developers pulled them voluntarily. Chrome Store doesn't tell you. However, the day before removal, Google had already taken away the featured badge from these extensions, but Google haven't confirmed. Like, you have to be careful what extensions you use. You really, really do. And this goes for absolutely anything. I'm now looking at the extensions I've got installed and I'm slightly concerned. But yeah, like I've got...
it's always... When you see a lot, you get a lot of privacy update emails and stuff, and nobody reads that, right? No. I ignore it. You get that all the time, like our terms and conditions have changed, or here's an update to our privacy policy and stuff like that. No one ever reads that stuff, ever. What also doesn't help now is that Chrome hides half of the extensions you've got installed behind a jigsaw puzzle piece. So you can have like extensions installed there. If you don't pin them, then they hide. Yeah, I'm just looking. I don't have loads. I have cleaned up, but there's some that I use frequently and have done for years, but I don't know what their permissions are. When you hover over them, if I right click on them, can't read or change sites data. Some are secure, but some aren't. Look, just be careful with the extensions. Don't go installing stuff just because it sounds good. If it's free, you're probably the product. Just remember that. It's so there was 3 one-click VPN proxy, Urban Browser Guard, and Urban Ad Blocker. The problem is we just talked about the death of ad blockers and how ad blockers were a great thing, and then you get an ad blocker like this that's actually just scooping up data, which is a shame. But there we go. Do you want to move on to the next one? Just a couple more. Time is getting on, but we've only got a couple more news stories left. So this one is continuation from last episode, I think, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, LG were planning on forcing Copilot onto its TVs.
They did.
Oh, they did. Okay.
They did.
And it wasn't uninstallable at the time, wasn't it?
You couldn't remove it. It was there.
Forced to.
Yeah, you couldn't uninstall it. It was there.
Right, yeah. And obviously that was, the idea was it could view your screen and give you insights into what was on your TV, essentially, and what you're watching. And yes, there's some posts on Reddit and several reports. And yeah, now LG have said that they'll sort of back down on this, and they will let users delete Microsoft's Copilot, which they obviously forced onto machines with an update. With an update, and yeah, they've basically said that they'll allow it if they wish to. I don't think anybody wishes to have Copilot on their TV, to be honest. But yeah, I don't think there's really much more to say on that. But I guess if you have a recent LG TV with an update with this Copilot, you might want to go and remove it.
It's nice to see that they have backtracked on it, though. Yeah, it's funny. In response to this, there was another story this week that I saw that was really similar. Texas, the Attorney General in Texas, in America, are taking Hisense, TCL, Sony, Samsung, and LG. They filed lawsuits against all 5 of those manufacturers for using automated content recognition technology to covertly take screenshots of what users are watching. ACR, automated content recognition, it's claimed, captures a screenshot from TVs every 500 milliseconds and transmits that data back to the manufacturer without the user's knowledge or consent. For me, this is a bigger story. There's no way to know. This article that I'm reading in Mashable says there's no way for us to know if these companies are guilty of what Ken Paxton, the Texas Attorney General, is claiming. But ACR is a real thing. You can turn it off, but you have to know if it's turned on first in order to turn it off. So, yeah. So that's another interesting one. Have a look in your, if you've got a TV, have a look in your menu, just the settings there. See if it sounds iffy, sounds dodgy.
Yeah, a lot of AI features and smart features and whatever else. That sounds like a lot of data, to be honest, being transmitted.
Yeah. Ken Paxton, the Texas Attorney General, he's like, 3 of the 5 companies aren't Chinese, but he's claimed about an ongoing threat from the Chinese Communist Party. So they're playing a very political angle on that. But, and it'll be interesting to see what does come of that, because that kind of didn't make massive headlines, but it's kind of there. So yeah, your TV's maybe spying.
Cool.
Right. Last one is mine. And this is an interesting one. I did a little video on this. WhatsApp. So there's a new scam going around called ghost pairing. And this is where attackers are hijacking WhatsApp accounts. We're not hacking them. They're literally socially engineering you to give them access to your WhatsApp account. So this abuses the device linking feature in WhatsApp. So essentially, in WhatsApp, you can link a device, right? So if you use an app on your computer or in a web browser, you link the device. You have to like scan a QR code or input a code to give that device access. So that's what they're tricking you into doing. They trick you into pairing the device, and then they can access your messages in real time. They can send messages as you in real time, and you carry on using your device. You don't even kind of realize they're there unless you go looking for it. So unless you go into like settings, link devices, and then you can see. So it's an interesting one. I don't know how widespread this is, but it's a little scary, I think. Yeah, I saw something. Let me just get this up here. Hang on. You get a message from someone you know, like, oh, is this you in this photo? And there's a link. And then when you click the link, it will take you to a page that looks real, but it asks you for a phone number. So you put in your phone number. And then it shows you a code and tells you to enter that code into WhatsApp. And that code is the device pairing code. So they're socially engineering. They'll probably compromise you. And then they'll try and compromise all of your friends. And then they'll try and they probably delete the messages to clean up after them. So you might not realize. They might do it at a time when you're asleep or when you're not there, and then delete the messages after them. So just, if you get a strange prompt from WhatsApp asking you to enter a code or asking you to put a code into WhatsApp, just don't do it. Don't do it.
Or if your friend sends you that dodgy message.
Is this you in this photo? Click this link. And it will be something as obvious as that, because that's like, oh my God, what photo?
Well, especially because it comes from your actual friend's contact, right?
Abuses trust. Yeah, completely.
No, it's quite a scary one. I guess as well, you can look at your devices and make sure that they are your devices.
I know like senior leaders in business like using WhatsApp, and it's often out of band of a cyber team. So WhatsApp won't be an approved method of corporate communication because of its convenience and its, presumed security. It's encrypted. Boards use it. Directors use it to talk to each other. So if you socially engineer a director and then like, John, can you make the payment to this company, please? Or like message like the finance person. You could probably find out by scrolling through the message history, because the attackers get access to all of your message history. So they can look through that and find out the type of language you speak and the type of requests you make to certain people. If it's used to asking your financial director to make a transaction or your accounts payable person to make a payment, they'll do that. Here's some bank details. Can you pay this person 50 grand, please? Or something like that. That wouldn't be unusual. Right. I think that's the end of the news this week. So let's get on with the topics. And this week, your topics are on the list above mine. So did you want to go first?
Yeah, I can do. They're quite quick.
Okay.
The first one actually continues on from WhatsApp. So quite similar. So I'll share the video.
Okay.
But this one is talking about a public tool that someone's like put onto GitHub as a proof of concept, educational, security research only, demonstrating privacy vulnerabilities in WhatsApp and Signal. And I think he mentions in this video that they've notified WhatsApp and Signal, but I don't think it's been addressed. But I'll play the video anyway. We can see what it's all about.
Someone with just your phone number can now track when you're home, when you're asleep, and when you leave for work. A free tool went public on GitHub that turns WhatsApp and Signal into a tracking device. Here's how it works. The attacker sends invisible reactions to messages that don't exist. Your phone responds automatically. There's no notification, pop-up, nothing's visible. There is one sign: your battery will start draining 15 to 18% an hour while it's idle. By measuring how fast your phone responds, they can tell if your screen is on, if you're on Wi-Fi or mobile data, and if you're moving. Over time, they can build a profile, like when you're home, when you're asleep, when you're out. The researchers reported this to Meta 14 months ago and heard back. Signal never responded at all. As of today, it's still exploitable, and there's almost nothing you can do about it. Someone with just your phone number.
Yeah.
Wow.
Slightly concerning.
Yeah. It's like...
We'll move to the GitHub page, but yeah, go on, sorry.
It's, it seems really strange.
Yeah.
Silent delivery receipts, yeah.
I think we spoke.
I'm sure we've covered something
similar.
Yeah.
It was around mobile numbers and WhatsApp. I can't remember what the story was, but yeah, this one, you can see this picture here of what the interface sort of looks like, and you can see, I assume it gives like the name, the phone number, and whether the device is online, how quickly it responds to messages. Yeah, it's quite crazy that you can then decipher whether they're on mobile data or Wi-Fi, and whether their phone's online and whatnot. But yeah, it's quite a crazy one.
Yeah,
probably ties in well with the previous story of someone being able to tell whether your device is being used, and you'd be able to sort of plan their attack on your contacts a bit better, maybe. But yeah, I think it's still vulnerable from what is being said.
Even things like it said their potential location data from if moving from Wi-Fi to 4G. Like it could even be used to tell if someone's home. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, they've finished traveling now, they're home, or they're not home anymore, and they're traveling. So it's there's some it's data that probably shouldn't be out there. Yeah.
Suppose there is some stuff that you can do as a WhatsApp user or a Signal user, and that's in settings on WhatsApp. If you go to privacy advanced, you can block unknown messages.
Right.
I think it's off by default.
Why would that be off by default?
Maybe you'll be able to confirm. I turned mine on.
To protect your account and improve device performance, WhatsApp will block messages from unknown accounts if they exceed a certain volume. It's off by default. It sounds like something that should probably be on. So, yeah.
And Signal users, you can do the same sort of things. Privacy phone number, who can find me by number, and change it to nobody. There might be some different settings.
Yeah.
Some people might want that feature, but yeah. Yeah, thought it was quite interesting.
Yeah, I like that. It's an interesting one.
Got a couple more. Again, TikTok videos. That's where I get these latest news.
Hey,
topics.
I've got a TikTok video this week, but it was sent to me.
This one's just again another interesting one that sort of touches on deepfakes and how there's techniques that we could use to solve them. And I think we touched on it before about content credentials, metadata. But I'll play the video and we can see what it said.
This is a solvable problem, and one that I think most people are missing the boat on. So it's always been presented to us as like, oh, you'll have to learn how to see what's wrong with an AI image. Like, that's never going to work. They're going to get better and better. Maybe we're already past the point where a human can see it. But that's how we've solved these problems in the past. If you go back to the 90s, people said we'll never have internet banking because you don't know that the computer on the other end is actually the person you're talking to. And then we moved from HTTP to HTTPS. That was a solvable problem. That basically same technique works for images, video, and for audio. So there is a free open source metadata standard that industry has created called C2PA, Content Credential Provenance Authority, that you can attach to any standard file format that cryptographically proves whether that content was taken from a real device, generated by AI, and or how it was edited over time. The challenge is the creator has to attach it. And so you need to get to a place where that is the default option.
So if you see an image and it doesn't have that cryptographic proof, you should be skeptical. Like that,
we should get to that place.
That would be the idea where it's so pervasive. The expectation is I can test very quickly whether the creator has attached this.
It'd be like going to your banking website and only loading HTTP, right? You would instantly be suspect. Can we nerd out?
Yeah. It's quite a good point. And I think maybe at one point that will be the standard for having that content credentials. I think it was...
it's true. No, I was going to say, it's true. Like spotting deep fakes is an impossible task. I know the Vida have a deep fake tool. I think it's called Synthetic Truth. And they've been touring that at some road shows. And essentially it's a series of deep fakes and you have to tell if it's deep fake or not. And people are finding it difficult, right? And I know, that's a real... Asking people to spot the signs is just getting so much harder.
Yeah.
So much harder. Yeah. To the point where you question if genuine stuff is... Like, I saw a video this week of people saying Donald Trump's just announced the new Hunger Games because it was like a challenge for like kids. And it's like, is this real? Is this not real? We don't know anymore.
Yeah.
Where can you verify it? It's, yeah.
I think we've touched on this before, this content credentials, but it's there's like a committee of members like Adobe, Amazon, BBC, Google, Intel, Meta. And I think it's probably become the standard at some point, but probably getting that adopted into different platforms is probably not an easy task. I think even some cameras, digital cameras nowadays, can have this feature built in so you can prove it's a real picture with this content credentials. So
can content credentials be faked?
No idea. You'd hope not.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was an interesting little point there.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I'll move on to the last one. I thought this one was a short, funny one. I don't know if you might have seen it. But basically it's actor Idris Elba unlocking his phone with his waxwork's face.
I did.
It's a Samsung.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's obviously not.
Right, hold on. I've got to call my mum.
Not as good as the iPhones.
How are you, mum? You all right? Are you all right?
Yeah, so obviously in the video you can see he pranks his mum as well by showing her the wax model whilst he's talking. But yeah, it's quite interesting. It's interesting here as well. BBC have put that he's using Face ID, but Samsung doesn't have Face ID.
No, it's BBC.
It's a bit of a mistake there, but
yeah.
I imagine an iPhone would probably not log you in. But obviously,
I said that was a Samsung. I don't know if it's a Samsung. It definitely wasn't an iPhone.
I did. It unlocks my phone.
Yeah, it looks like a Samsung maybe.
It does. Surely they use LiDAR as well, and LiDAR is just depth perception, isn't it? It's like it is. I mean, it's perfectly believable, really. Someone's, please tell me if I'm wrong, but from a tech perspective, the way that Face ID works, surely it's perfectly believable that a realistic wax model of someone would be able to do it.
Yeah, I think it was quite a while back. There was like a sort of 3D printed or like made a model of their face, didn't they? And then tested the iPhone. So yeah, I think this.
We years and years ago, when Face Unlock first came out, our old CISO, you and me, had a Samsung phone that had Face Unlock, and I printed off a picture of his face and held it up to the camera, and it unlocked. And it was like, okay, we can't approve Face Unlock on these devices because it literally was
very good.
And then the iPhone came out with the iPhone had like the LiDAR camera, which did all the depth perception. And it was like when the first Android phones came out, it was just, is this person? It didn't do the depth because it didn't have the LiDAR camera. So yeah. No, that's good. That's good. Idris Elba's wax model at Madame Tussauds looks very, very realistic. So that's good. Was that all your topics for this week?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay. I've got a couple of quick ones. So this first one is from writer, artist, newsletter writer, Austin Kleon. And I saw this and I just thought it kind of summed up our space quite well. Do I need AI? So it's 4 circles with a box in the middle. And all the arrows go to the box. The box in the middle says no. The 4 circles say, do I need AI? No. Do I like AI? No. Do I respect AI? No. Do I find AI cool or interesting? No. And it's like, maybe everybody talking about AI, I just thought that was quite funny. Kind of works. It represents the cybersecurity space quite well.
I think as well, like AI is so accessible, isn't it? And people just use it for fun. Yeah. Little waste. Go on.
Let me just share you this next one. Let me just line this up properly. So I was sent this by Liam Stockrabat. Hello, Liam. And this is a TikTok video from CP24, breaking news in Canada. So I'm just going to play you this. It's not very long. It's just an audio. Like if you're listening to this, you're not missing anything by just listening to it. It explains it all quite clearly.
Have to sell your house to get your money back.
Heartbroken. I was broken into pieces.
A woman we'll call Denise of Markham, Ontario, asked us not to reveal her identity as she is devastated and embarrassed to have lost her life savings in a cryptocurrency scam. In July of 2023, she was on Facebook when she saw a story featuring billionaire Elon Musk saying she could get rich fast.
Millions of users were able to close all their debts in the first week on the platform.
It said that you just have to invest $250 and you get on his platform and you're going to make money daily.
Denise sent $250 to what she thought was Musk's platform. 2 days later, she received what she was told was $30 US in profit. Convinced it wasn't a scam, she was told if she invested more, she would make more.
And they keep calling me and tell me that people are making so much money and that if you put more, and I said, okay.
Denise decided to go all in and took out a second mortgage on her home.
I applied for almost $1 million on the equity in my home. I took it out and I started sending it to them, right? Like $350,000, $350,000.
After investing $1.2 million, she thought it had grown to over $3 million. But when she tried to take money out, she was told she needed to pay taxes and fees. She borrowed another $500,000 from family and friends and maxed out credit cards. In the end, she was scammed out of $1.7 million.
I don't have no retirement saving. Everything is gone.
There are fake AI-generated cryptocurrency videos featuring former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau.
We have developed an investment platform.
And current Prime Minister Mark Carney.
Make your initial deposit.
You could invest.
Yeah, it goes on. Like, there's a crypto scam victim, real story. Just kept pushing,
incredible amount of money.
Pushing, incredible amount of money.
It's quite sad, really, as well. Like, just how easily vulnerable someone is like that on, and again, Facebook with dodgy videos.
Starts off Facebook with a dodgy video, and then it's the little bit like it gives you the little drip feed, like, oh, you've made some profit, now invest some more. Oh, you've made some profit, now invest some more. I've mentioned it again. This is how it's exactly the same scenario that Gene in EastEnders was popped years ago. EastEnders just did another scam storyline that was almost identical. There's a baby there's a baby in it that's blind, and this doctor approached someone offering like this revolutionary, they were doing a charity thing, and then this doctor approached them saying, be a part of this medical trial, you can like blah blah blah, £3,000 to get on this trial, but you need to do it quickly because the places are filling up, there's the urgency. And then this person gave away all this money and the website went down, and that's the end of the story. There'll be no repercussions, there'll be no because the drama, it's all from the victim. But yeah,
it's quite crazy that sort of thing can happen. You'd sort of think maybe the bank would be very suspicious as to what they're doing with the money, and transferring, I guess, was through cryptocurrency, right? So it's probably a bit more not really regulated in that way. But it's huge sums of money there.
Huge sums of money. Yeah. The last thing I wanted to mention was an article I saw this week. You may have seen in the news about Amazon had a North Korean infiltrator. The angle on this story that I saw on Tom's Hardware, I thought was brilliant. North Korean infiltrator caught working in Amazon IT department. Thanks to lag, 110 milliseconds keystroke input raised red flags over their true location. 110 milliseconds. It's like tiny. Barely perceptible keystroke delay was the smoking gun that led to the uncovering of a malign imposter. And I think this is brilliant. They were uncovered working as a sysadmin for Amazon US after their keystroke input lag raised suspicions. Normally a US-based remote worker's computer would send keystroke data within tens of milliseconds. But this person's keyboard lag was more than 110 milliseconds. Like, wow. It's
amazing how that sort of simple, basic technique found that out.
I got this from Reddit, and the top comment on Reddit was, this also confirms that they're using keyboard monitoring software. It's a kind of a good and bad story.
Yeah. Not very common, is it? I've not heard of that being used before, but I'm sure they're not the only ones.
Someone says, how can the keystroke and the input be detected as delayed? The difference on camera versus the actual key entered? Because if he's working remotely, the PC will detect the stroke when it detects it. And then someone responded and said another comment mentioned the actual work laptop was somewhere in Arizona. And then that laptop had some software on it specifically to detect this. And the input onto the laptop was being done from North Korea. So the input coming from North Korea compared to when the key would actually be pressed locally on the laptop is where it's noticeable. Yeah. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
So yes, who's got time to look at the keyboard logs? But at the same time, people might be looking at your keyboard logs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. I think that's everything for this week. Is that everything for this week?
Yeah, I think so.
Excellent. Well, it's Christmas. We should have put up some decorations. We should have had
Christmas
trees
candles,
and tinsels or Christmas hats. Oh, well. Right. Well, that's all. Not a single Christmas themed story and no Christmas hats or Christmas jumpers because I've only just remembered, like, this is the Christmas episode. So there we go.
Next week.
Yeah. So one more episode left this year. We'll have to work out when we're going to record next week. There's an interviews episode that came out just a couple of days ago. I interviewed Kerry Johnson from Fishbusters. It's a really interesting chat, actually. Kerry's quite a controversial figure because he kind of says the quiet bit loud and he wants to hold all the vendors to account as far as dashboards and metrics are concerned. And if you're interested in how to measure success and awareness function, Kerry is an independent, research-backed person you can speak to about all of that. So that's quite an interesting episode.
Oh, sounds cool.
Right. That's it then.
Yeah.
Have a great Christmas and I'll speak to you next week.
And you and everyone listening.
Yeah. Okay.
Catch you next week.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.